Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
Uh, okay, over here, see what has happened as the application is hosted on AWS, AWS, it is having a reverse proxy. So whenever you have a reverse proxy, you will say curl. You can use a curl saying that it's an IP. This is an IP address, and then you use a -h, okay, and then you host. You can use a burp suite as well for this. If you are working into an application security, you know how you can configure. You can change the request header, right? So you can change the request header and say -h, or in the request you can say host is this. Okay, there's an host. In a request header we have a host. So what I'm saying to this particular person that, hey, I'm this host, which is 169.254, 169.254, which is a local IP address of your AWS EC2 instances where your instance metadata is configured. So when you give this as in the request, now what happens when you press enter? This will treat you that, okay, this will tell this particular server that this request has been coming up from this local IP address. So give it, redirect it to what data you wanted to give it. So this gives me some information like this. Okay, so once I confirm that this has been configured, that means I get a confidence that there is an instance metadata which has been which has been configured, um, on the page. So what I will do next is I'm going to, sorry, it's a lot of boxes are open over here. So I'm going to do one thing on this. I'm going to put in place or try to extract the metadata which I have. So what I will do later is I'll use the same curl command, okay, but behind that I will use latest and slash meta, meta minus data. Give me a metadata information, okay, and then minus h, okay, and then host. Okay, 169.254, 169.254. Give me that. What? Okay, let me just write this again. So same command. Okay, slash latest slash meta slash data. Okay, so we'll have a minus on this and give me a metadata information. Press enter. So I explained you what metadata is. So it's going to give me the metadata information over here. So I have a metadata information where it says um, you have a lot of information: AMID, launch index, manifest. So all the metadata information of my EC2 instances. So there is a role which has been attached to this EC2 instance. So this is an EC2 instance and there is a role attached to it. Okay, and how would I know that there is a role attached to it? You see this IAM. If it's IAM has been there, that means there's a role attached to it. Okay, so what I wanted to know next is I wanted to know that if there is an IAM role attached to it, then can I get the IAM role name, what role name it's been attached? So let me grab and get this information. If you want to see the host name, you will just use the same link, metadata slash host name. That will give you host name. But I don't want the information about events, hibernation, security credentials. No, I want an information about the IAM role which has been attached to it. Okay, so I'm going to do that again, and this I'm going to say that um, it's an IAM. So give me a role name. Sorry. What was the last? Okay, metadata should be writing over here. IAM. Okay, and then press enter. And when you press the same curl minus s IAM, it gives you there are in an IAM there are uh, two folders, info and security credentials. What do you want to know? I want to know what is inside security credentials. So I'll write the same thing. Sorry, I'll write the same thing on the top, but this time I want to go for security credentials. So I'll write security minus credentials. Okay, press enter. Now it says that this is your role name, CG banking WAF role CGI admin something. Okay, I want to get what is inside this CGIAM and use this role name and get the information which is there on CGIAM role name. So I'll grab that, copy the role name, paste it here. Okay, and then press enter again. And when you press enter again on the role name, you'll get the access key, you get the secret key, and you get the token. Okay, so don't follow up along with me, because if you are similar stuff, definitely this token will be updated for you. And if that is going to happen, our next attack will not happen, right? So don't follow along with me. If you change the token, we'll not see anything coming up. Okay, so now once it's been done, you have an access key and secret key. Now you know what to do next, right? I need this information. So what I will do next is AWS AWS configure minus profile. I can write profile name as stole Sony crats. Okay, something like that, and press enter. Access keys, we know this is an access key, so I'll copy that. This is my access key, paste. Then I have a secret key, copy, paste. Region will be US East 1.
Hey viewers, our Master in DevOps engineering program can help you to hone the skills necessary to succeed in high-level DevOps positions. So, what are you waiting for? Enroll now and earn certification that show you are keeping pace with today's technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
Okay, output format I don't want, but I need this token, right? I need this token anyhow. Let's press enter. For now, this has been there, but I need this token as well. Okay, so I'll just copy this token too, and we'll go to credential file, and then we have to do a little bit change on the credential file because we need this token and we need that credential file. We'll go to the credential file and we'll use um, one thing called AWS underscore session underscore token, and we have to paste this token over there. Okay, so we'll go back, and where is the file in Linux? We have a file in, if you go to nano and then you say sorry tilde AWS, and we have a file always in credentials. We go there, and we have a profile which we created for Sony credentials over here, stole Sony creds, right? And then on this I'm gonna write our AWS underscore session underscore token, and that token which you have copied, you have to paste it here. Okay, that is the token you have copied. And then once it's done, press Control C or Control X and say yes, I want to save the credentials, right? And then the credentials has been saved. Now what you have to do is, the next thing is you wanted to see what all permission your particular role which you have taken, what permission it carries. Okay, for that you can run your you can run your enumerate IAM too. Python script which I have addressed on a very first session, that is the one which you can use to see what all permission it holds. But as we are running with the out of time, so I'm not going to run that for now. I'm going to skip that particular section, but you can always execute that, or you can use a package to enumerate the set of actions which has been allowed to this particular profile which you have configured, right? What actions has been, or what is the things which has been allowed to this. But as of now, I know what has been allowed. So I'll say AWS S3 LS. Okay, list me all the things. So there's an S3 bucket, and I'm saying LS, give me all the S3 buckets if they are there. Then using a profile, this. Okay, using this profile. So I'll just copy this, and I'm going to paste it over here and press enter. Okay, the token is very important, because if that token get expired and someone is also following along with me, we won't see the buckets list. Okay, you see this? These are the set of buckets which has been available inside this particular role. Role is allowed to have an complete role is allowed to run an ls means list me the buckets. Okay, so that particular role has a permission to list the buckets. That's why this command was executed, and these are the set of buckets which has been there in the account where my EC2 has been hosted. Okay, what next we can do is, once we have a bucket list, okay, once we have a bucket list, right, what we will do, once we have a bucket list, we will try to what I'm interested moreover is in the card holders. Okay, to can I dump the card holder information from here to my local system? Yes, I can. And how would I do that? I will say AWS S3, then there is a command called sync, and I will write S3 colon slash slash. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to download sorry I'm trying to download the data. Okay, so this particular CGI cardholder data bucket, I want to copy that, so I'll just copy this. Okay, paste it. Okay, and then you have to write okay, what you're doing is, okay, take all the information which is there and copy it to my local system and make a folder called card holder minus data, using the profile which we have configured, which is this. Using this profile, sync all the data from this particular S3 bucket on my local system, that's a dot, and in the local system make a folder called cardholder data and put everything over there. Minus using a profile stole Sony creds. Okay, press enter. Okay, so it's going to sync here the complete data to your card holder. So you have seen the download. So if I say ls, so I have a card holder data file over here, so I can go to cd card holder data. If I say ls, I have a csv files and the data which has been available inside that bucket. Okay, so where is the leakage? Leakage is the instance metadata which has been configured. Okay, and which has been configured, and the role which has been the major focus is the instance metadata which has been used by a reverse proxy. So if you have a reverse proxy, and when people use a reverse proxy, they use a reverse proxy and they enable the instance metadata into their EC2 instances. By default, they don't check it, right? They create a EC2 instance, they don't check that the instance metadata has been by default on. So if that by default instance metadata is not turned off, then people can access and dump your complete instance metadata information. And if your EC2 instance has been attached with the role, they can dump your role information. They can take your token information, and with the token and the role, they can configure and create a profile and can access whatever the role can do, and do on the behalf of role. They can perform whatever actions. Okay, As I was with a time constraint, I did not run the enumerate IAM Python script in order to see what all information my IAM role holds on. But I know that S3, I have given it up S3 permission, so I just wrote S3 ls, and when I run that AWS S3 ls with the profile which I have, I was able to dump the content of complete S3 bucket, and we use the AWS S3 sync in order to sync the whole data to our local machine. Okay, so any doubt, any questions so far in the lab, from the lab, or from the topic of config and CloudTrail? Any doubt, any questions you have, you can raise it now.
Hey viewers, are you looking for formal training on SRE practices? Take our SRE program. This course will teach you how to successfully implement site reliability engineering in the modern day 24/7 services. Kickstart your SRE training today. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
Hi,
Vasant,
Vasant.
Yep.
please go ahead, Lohit. Yeah.
I heard that AWS has released IMS version, instant metadata service version 2. So the same attack can happen even if the proxy is configured, like this. Can this attack be repeated even for version 2 also?
Yeah, IMDS v2 here, right? You're talking about IMDS
Yeah.
v2, right?
Yeah.
For IMDS v2, yes, IMDS has been, has been widely exploitable using such vulnerabilities. For IMDS v2, we have another. There is an effective mitigate. They made it for such SSRF attack. So AWS, yes, released an update on EC2 instances, but this new release, IMDS v2, according to AWS, is a defense in depth. Again, I would say it is, according to them, it's a defense in depth which they have made, right? Um, but do we have, let me think of it. Is a defense, IMDS D2 V2 is a depth in against open firewall and SSRF vulnerability. IMDS V2, okay, it actually needs a association token to the service. The token will be specific request using SAPR. So let me think. Can we do that with IMDS V2? Yeah, it actually mitigates most of your SSRF attacks. So it will still it still cannot mitigate security issues like misconfigured reverse proxy. So yeah, it will be exploitable.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So what's the solution? Yeah.
No, actually, please go ahead.
Now I was like, what's the solution for this? Definitely, yeah. Instance to upgrade from AMD's V1 to V2 is what you can do, right? If we do that, we have to use we don't we it's something that we don't will be able to exploit. But the misconfiguration of the reverse proxy is the issue actually. Okay, so even if you have IMDS V2, then people can use an export token curl command to extract information.
But they should have a token, right? Token, how they will get the token? I mean, IMVS V2 may ask for authentication, maybe authentication or something to get the token.
They can use the security token obtained as a part of HTTP request header. They can write export token and then curl -export command, and then they have that -h option where they can write x minus AWS minus EC2 metadata token, time to leave seconds, and then latest API token, and that token will be exported, and then they can use it in the. I'll give you that set of commands which can be used.
Okay.
Okay, so if you see, if it's IMDS v2, then this is the command you will have to write it down. So I'll just write it on the chat box. you have to export token on the IP address and then host address. Okay, on the next, what you have to do is on a further actions, you have to use this curl minus s, the same latest metadata local. Minus h, the host is going to be same, but along with host, you have to write minus h, and then the command is going to be similar minus h host, then space minus h, double quotes, x minus AWS minus EC2 minus metadata minus token, colon the token which you have exported. First, you have to export the token. That's correct. You have to export the token if it's an IMDS v2. So it's still exploitable. Okay. The issue is reverse proxy. So we have to make sure that's been configured properly. Even your IMDS v2 cannot save you for this. Just an extra mile, we have to write this export token option. Okay, any other question? No? Okay. So I'm just writing one more command on the curl on the chat box. So curl minus h, that the address for IMDs v2 as you were asking. Minus h, you have to write within that you have to write host and then colon 169.254.169.254, and then you have to write minus h again, and then x minus AWS minus EC2 minus metadata minus token, and then that token which you have exported. So you can write $token. Okay, this way it will work. So you have to write one more command when it's an IMDS v2. Export the token first with the curl minus export minus h. This one with the TTL time to seconds is 21, whatever that comes into 1 second. So you give it seconds time, and then on the next you can curl and then minus and then minus h host, and there's a one more header you have to include, that's minus h, x minus AWS minus EC2 minus metadata. Okay, cool. So let's come back to the operations, guys. One more service we'll talk about and then we'll take a break. So let's talk about one more service, which is a CloudWatch. From the operation point of view, if you are working as a security engineer on AWS, what you will do with the CloudWatch and where CloudWatch can help you out into. Okay.
Hey viewers, trying to get into DevSecOps? Enroll for our DevSecOps certified professional programs and earn the certification that shows you are fit for these technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
All right, there's the other service called CloudWatch, okay, which monitor resources and application, which is nearly real-time monitoring of your complete resources and application. So Kanan, this is what you will use in order to monitor your application resources and history. So this is a very important service. So let's talk about that. So what is a CloudWatch? So it's a monitoring service for AWS cloud resources and the application you run on AWS. Okay, and that actually define really what CloudWatch is, because it does an awful lot of things, and which we'll learn very soon. So what does it enables us to, right? What does CloudWatch enables us to do? Okay, it enables us to do a resource utilization, operation performance monitoring. Okay, for what does it mean? It means that you can monitor things like your CPU utilization, you can monitor your disk input output, your network throughput, you can monitor all kinds of custom things, you can monitor the amount of disk space that's left on your EBS volumes. You can literally monitor basically anything that you can program in Python, as well as as well as doing that. You can do log aggregation, you can do a basis analysis of CloudWatch, and essentially CloudWatch provides real-time monitoring within AWS for resource and application, right? And it hooks into event triggering, and we'll have a look upon how that all works in a second. So there is three key component to CloudWatch. When it talks about, there are when we talk about from the point of security, one is CloudWatch logs. Okay, that you can see on the left hand side, there's a logs and log group and inside. One is CloudWatch log, there is CloudWatch event. Okay, and then we're gonna throw CloudWatch logs, CloudWatch events, and CloudWatch itself. So there are these three things: CloudWatch logs, CloudWatch events, and CloudWatch itself is the three of the sources which we will use very oftenly. We have alarms, we'll see that. So log group, alarms, events. Okay, these are the, from the point of security, these are the things which we have, which we'll look upon, and how this can be used when we work in a security. So CloudWatch allows us to do completely, as I said, real time monitoring, depending on whether or not you have got detailed monitoring turned on or just a standard monitoring. So standard monitoring is every 5 minutes, and detailed monitoring, you will get it the detail of everything within every 1 minute. You have got whole bunch of different matrices in the section of metrics, right, on the left hand side, which you can see. So you can have CPU utilization, network utilization, etc. You can then configure alarms. So let's suppose if your CPU is going over 80% for a consistent period of time, let's say about 5 or 10 minutes, something can be triggered to raise an alarm, and that can send us a notification email or etc. Then you can create custom matrices as well. So anything that you can basically program, you can pass those notification over to the CloudWatch, and then CloudWatch will monitor that. So you could monitor disk space utilization. You could monitor RAM utilization. You can do really monitorization of your Apache servers, which, so it really depends up to you. So what you wanted to do a monitoring on. So long as you have got the ability to program it, you can pass those matrices along to the AWS CloudWatch API. And the cool thing about CloudWatch is that it doesn't have to be on EC2 servers. So you could do your on-premises servers could be completely monitored by CloudWatch as well. You'll have to so we'll see that how it looks and how it works like when we talk about the CloudWatch. So let's go ahead and see how the CloudWatch looks like, and how we can configure the stuffs over here. So as I said, there are the key features. We have three key features: events, logs, and alarms, which works on the matrices. So let's see that. Okay, then you have other options on this: container, synthetic key, canaries, lambda inside, container inside. These are the new services which you see. There's a meta matrix with the beta options, which with the Explorer. We'll talk about that later. Let's talk about the one which we will be using from the point of security. So first is events. Okay, so when you click on events, and what events are basically, the CloudWatch events, which we can use to determine the set of events which you're interested on. You can write a rule to match those events, and then you can trigger the actions if those events got matched. Okay, so there are rules and there is an event bus. Two things on this. two things on this. One is rules and what is event bus. So let's talk about rules first. What is a rule? Rule is basically, your CloudWatch can capture the event which your CloudTrail can trigger. Okay, and let's say you have a S3 bucket create event, you wanted to capture it and you wanted to perform some action on it. Okay, then you will create a rule for that. So how do we do it? There's a rule option. You can click on this, click on create rule, and then there's an event pattern you see, and there's a scheduler. So there are two type of rules you can write. One is a scheduler. Scheduler means that every 5 minutes, every 2 minutes, every 3 minutes, you wanted to trigger this rule. Okay, and when this rule with every 5 minutes get triggered, what will happen? Here is a target which you write it on. Okay, let's say add target, and in the add target you have a set of targets which will be triggered. Like for an example, I want to send an email. Okay, so if you want to send an email in AWS, you have an option called SNS. So you select SNS topic, you create a SNS topic if it's there, or if it's not there, you have to create a SNS topic. And what will happen? Every 5 minutes, this SNS topic will be triggered, and whatever topic you have written and whoever has been configured to that SNS topic, they will be they will start receiving the emails. Okay, so to understand this, let's create an SNS topic. Okay, so I'll go to SNS. Over here it's a bucket, I believe. It's an SNS topic, so we'll create an SNS topic. Over here we have two topics already created for us. I just want to delete them because I don't want to get built on this. Okay, let me delete this as well. Okay, so I'll create a topic, and so we have a topic first in first out, or standard topic. It should be standard. What should be the topic name? I would say S3 bucket triggered. Okay, and then display name, whatever you want, encryptions, access, blah blah, let it be, and create the topic. Oh, we don't. Right, create the topic. Okay, and then you have a you have to create a subscription. Like for an example, if this topic triggered, what will happen? Okay, so I'm gonna receive, I want, whenever this topic get triggered, send me an email. Okay, so I want an email, and where does you want that email? So I'll write my email address on this. Okay, and I'll create the subscription. Now when we go back to our topic, just over here, you'll see that it's been pending confirmation. So we have to check our email address, whether we received an email or not for the confirmation. So we'll go to our email address.
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.